Have you ever promised yourself that this time would be different? This is my last chance. I will not quit again. But after a few difficult days, your excitement disappeared. The work became harder than you expected. People started doubting you. Results came slowly. Fear became louder than your dream. Then your mind quietly said, "You can always try again later." That one sentence has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. Because as long as you leave yourself an easy way back, your mind will keep searching for it every time life becomes painful. But what if there was no way back? What if the only road left was the one in front of you? Would you fight harder? Would you become stronger? Today's story is about a young warrior who learned that victory does not belong to the strongest man. It belongs to the one who removes every excuse to quit. My name is Wally, and you're watching Wally Tales. Now let's begin today's story. Long before great kingdoms covered the land, there was a mountain kingdom called Dravenor. Massive stone walls protected its people, and every child grew up listening to stories of fearless warriors who defended the kingdom with honor. Among those children was a quiet boy named Valor. Unlike the others, Valor was not born strong. He was shorter than most boys his age. His arms were thin. He tired quickly during training. Whenever the boys practiced with wooden swords, Valor was always the first one to fall. Every defeat brought laughter. "There goes the feather warrior. He cannot even hold a sword. He belongs in the kitchen, not the battlefield." The words hurt more than the bruises. Every evening, Valor returned home with cuts on his hands and disappointment in his heart. His mother gently cleaned his wounds. His father said very little. One night, after another terrible day of training, Valor finally asked the question that had been growing inside him for years. "Father, how do I become stronger?" His father placed another piece of wood into the fireplace before answering, "Strength is not built inside your arms first. It is built inside the place that refuses to surrender." Valor did not fully understand those words, but he never forgot them. Years passed. The other boys became skilled warriors. Valor improved too, but never fast enough. Whenever he won one fight, he lost 3 more. Whenever he climbed one step, someone else climbed 5. Many nights he secretly wondered if everyone else was right. Maybe he was simply born to lose. One cold morning, the king announced that the kingdom would soon choose new warriors for the royal guard. It was the greatest honor anyone could receive. Only 12 warriors would be selected. Thousands would compete. The entire kingdom celebrated. Valor felt excited, then afraid, then hopeful, then doubtful. For weeks he trained harder than ever before. Before sunrise, he practiced sword swings. During the day, he carried heavy stones through the mountains to strengthen his body. After sunset, he trained alone until he could barely stand. His hands became covered with blisters. His shoulders burned with pain. Still, he kept going. The day of selection finally arrived. The strongest young warriors from every village stood proudly inside the royal arena. Thousands of people filled the seats. Trumpets echoed across the stone walls. One by one, the challenges began. Swordsmanship, archery, endurance, strategy, courage. Valor survived the first challenge, barely passed the second, failed the third, lost badly in the fourth. When the competition ended, his name was nowhere among the chosen 12. The crowd slowly disappeared. The celebration continued without him. Valor remained sitting alone inside the empty arena. He stared at the wooden sword lying beside him. Months of sacrifice, years of hard work, nothing. For the first time in his life, he seriously thought about quitting. Late that evening, an old warrior quietly entered the arena. His name was General Karen. He had protected the kingdom for over 40 years. His armor carried deep marks from countless battles. Without saying a word, he picked up Valor's wooden sword. Then he threw it back toward him. Again! Valor looked confused. I already failed. Karen's voice remained calm. I did not ask what happened. I said, again. Valor slowly stood up. They fought. Within seconds, Karen knocked him to the ground. Again. They fought once more. Valor lost. Again. 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 Until the stars covered the night sky. Finally exhausted, Valor shouted, Why do you keep making me fight when you already know I cannot win? Karen smiled for the first time. Good. You finally asked the right question. Valor looked confused. The wrong question was always, how do I become stronger? The right question is, how long can I continue after I already want to quit? Those words echoed through the empty arena. The next morning, Karen offered Valor something unexpected. Come with me. They traveled for several days until they reached an abandoned fortress, hidden deep inside the mountains. Broken towers stood beneath dark clouds. Wild grass covered the old training grounds. This, Karen said, was once the greatest warrior school in the kingdom. What happened? The students became comfortable. They trained only when they felt motivated. They wanted victory without suffering. So they lost everything. Karen looked directly into Valor's eyes. If you wish to stay here, there is only one rule. What rule? Karen pointed toward the narrow bridge that connected the fortress to the outside world. If you cross that bridge tomorrow, you will burn it. Valor stared at him in silence. No bridge. No way home? Karen nodded. As long as your eyes keep looking backward, they will never fully see the road ahead. That night, Valor could not sleep. He thought about his parents, his village, his friends, the warm meals waiting at home, the peaceful life he could still choose. Everything inside him whispered, go back. No one will blame you. You tried. Just before sunrise, Valor walked onto the old wooden bridge. He stopped in the middle. For a long moment, he looked back one last time. Then he took a burning torch from the fortress wall. His hands trembled. His heart raced. One small movement, and there would be no easy return. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and dropped the torch. Within moments, bright flames swallowed the bridge. The fire grew higher and higher until the only road home collapsed into the river below. Karen stood behind him without speaking. Valor watched the last burning pieces disappear into the water. For the first time in his life, quitting was no longer an option. The only road left was forward. The morning after the bridge disappeared into the river, Karen woke Valor before the sun had risen. There is no breakfast, he said. There is no comfort. There is only training. Before Valor could even stand properly, Karen threw a wooden sword at him. Fight! Valor's muscles were still tired from the day before. Within seconds, he was lying on the ground. Karen did not help him up. Again, the days became weeks. The weeks became months. Every morning started before sunrise. Every night ended long after the moon filled the sky. Some days, Karen made Valor climb the highest cliffs carrying heavy stones on his back. Some days he made him stand beneath freezing waterfalls until his legs shook. Some days he ordered him to swing his sword 10,000 times before sunset. When Valor counted only 9,998, Karen made him start from zero. At first, Valor became angry. "This is unfair." Karen looked at him without emotion. "The battlefield is unfair. You are not training for comfort. You are training for reality." One evening, Valor collapsed from exhaustion. "I cannot do this anymore." Karen quietly sat beside him. He picked up a small seed from the ground and placed it in Valor's hand. "What do you see?" "A seed." Karen nodded. "If I break it open today, will I find a tree inside?" "No." "So does that mean the tree does not exist?" Valor stayed silent. The strongest things in this world grow where nobody can see them. Your strength is growing, but because you cannot see it yet, you think nothing is changing. Those words stayed inside Valor's heart. From that day, he stopped asking when success would come. He focused only on becoming better than yesterday. Months later, Karen finally handed him a real steel sword. "This sword is not your reward," Karen said. "It is your responsibility." Valor held it carefully. It felt heavier than he expected, not because of its weight, but because of its meaning. One cold morning, a royal messenger arrived at the fortress. His horse was covered with dust. His face carried fear. He bowed before Karen. "General, the kingdom is under attack." Karen's expression changed immediately. "Who?" "The Black Legion." Valor had heard that name only in stories. They were not ordinary soldiers. They conquered kingdoms without mercy. Every village they captured was burned. Every army that stood against them disappeared. Their leader, General Mordrek, had never lost a single war. Karen looked toward the broken bridge. There is no time. Without saying another word, he and Valor climbed down the mountain through dangerous cliffs that no ordinary traveler would dare cross. After 2 days of non-stop travel, they finally reached Dravenor. Smoke filled the sky. Families were leaving the city. Soldiers carried wounded friends through the streets. Fear had already entered the kingdom before the enemy had. Inside the royal hall, the king looked exhausted. "Our army is too small," he admitted. "If we lose tomorrow, the kingdom will fall." Many commanders suggested retreating behind the city walls. Others wanted to surrender before more lives were lost. Everyone argued. Everyone feared tomorrow. Then Karen stepped forward. "We will not hide." The room became silent. "We attack at sunrise." One commander laughed. "They outnumber us 3-1. Karen answered calmly. "Then we must fight like men who have no second chance." That night, Valor walked through the sleeping camp. He saw fear in every face. Young soldiers writing letters to their families. Old warriors quietly sharpening their swords. Some prayed. Some cried where nobody could see them. Valor realized something. Even brave people feel fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to move despite it. Before sunrise, Karen gathered every soldier. He stood on a large rock so everyone could see him. "I have one order. If anyone wishes to leave, leave now." No one moved. Karen nodded. "Good." He pointed toward the supply wagons that carried extra food, tents, and everything needed for a long retreat. Then he shocked everyone. "Burn them." The soldiers stared in disbelief. One captain shouted, "General, those are our supplies." Karen answered, "If we plan for retreat, our minds will search for retreat. But if victory is the only road left, We will discover strength we never knew we possessed. The soldiers looked at one another. Slowly, one man stepped forward with a torch, then another. Within minutes, the wagons were burning. Dark smoke rose into the morning sky. Every soldier understood the message. There would be no turning back. Across the valley, General Mordred smiled when he saw the much smaller army approaching. They have come to surrender. He was wrong. Karen divided the army into small groups instead of one large force. The enemy expected a direct attack. Instead, Valor led a small team through the forest surrounding the battlefield. Their mission was simple: destroy the enemy's signal towers. Without them, Mordrek's commanders could not communicate. It was dangerous. One mistake meant death. Moving silently through the trees, Valor remembered every lesson from the mountain: patience, focus, discipline. When the guards looked away for only a moment, his team attacked. Within minutes, every signal tower had fallen. Confusion spread across the enemy lines. Commanders shouted different orders. Some moved forward, others pulled back. The once perfect army became disorganized. Seeing the opportunity, Karen charged. "For Dravenor!" Thousands of voices answered. The battle shook the valley. Steel crashed against steel. Dust covered the sky. Valor fought harder than he ever had before, not because he hated the enemy, because he loved the people standing behind him. During the battle, he saw Karen surrounded by enemy soldiers. Without thinking, Valor fought his way toward him. Together they stood back to back, old master, young student. Years of training had prepared them for this single moment. One after another, the enemy soldiers fell. Then General Mordred himself entered the fight. He was enormous. His armor was black. His sword looked as heavy as an anvil. He attacked Karen with incredible force. Karen blocked the first strike, the second, the third. But age had finally caught up with him. Mordrek's blade cut deeply across his side. Karen fell to one knee. "Master!" Valor shouted. Karen looked at him and smiled. "The sword is yours now." With his remaining strength, Karen pushed Mordred backward. It gave Valor one opening, only one. Everything became silent inside his mind. He remembered every sunrise, every fall, every failure, every lesson, every sacrifice. Then he moved. One perfect strike. Mordrek's sword broke. A second strike knocked him to the ground. The Black Legion watched in disbelief. Their undefeated leader had fallen. Without his command, their army began to retreat. The battle was over. Dravenor had survived. As the sun set, Valor sat beside Karen. The old warrior's breathing had become weak. "You were right," Valor whispered. "Strength was never in the sword." Karen smiled. "It never was. It was in the man who refused to quit." Those were his final words. The kingdom honored Karen as one of its greatest heroes. Years later, when people asked King Valor how an ordinary boy became the greatest warrior in history, he never spoke about talent. He never spoke about luck. He simply pointed toward the mountain where the old fortress still stood. "The day I burned the bridge," he said, "I did not destroy my way home. I destroyed the version of myself that always wanted to run."
My dear friends, every one of us has a bridge. For some people, it is fear. For others, it is excuses. For others, it is the habit of waiting for the perfect moment. As long as that bridge exists, your mind will keep crossing it whenever life becomes difficult. You do not have to burn real ships or real bridges, but you must burn the excuses that keep leading you backward. Because success belongs to people who become fully committed, not halfway committed, not sometimes committed, fully committed. Before I leave, I want to speak to you from my heart. If this story inspired you even a little, don't let it end here. Choose one dream you have been delaying, and today, take the first real step toward it. Your future is built by the actions you take now, not by the plans you keep postponing. And if you enjoyed this story, please support Valley Tales by liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs this message, and subscribing to the channel. Stories like these take many hours of thinking, writing, editing, and polishing before they reach you, and your support truly helps me continue creating meaningful content. Also, don't forget to watch my previous story, Don't Joke Too Much. It carries another powerful life lesson that might change the way you see your words and the impact they have on others. Until next time, stay brave, stay disciplined, and remember, if you are truly sure about your destination, burn the ships and never look back.